If I have to read one more podcast naming article that is called What's in a Name, I'm going to throw my computer into the sea. Hi, I am Mark Steadman and I run the podcast hosting company Podiant, and I want to bring you actionable advice that you can apply to your podcast today. Now we're talking about names. A name is really important, but it's not the most important thing about your podcast. You can change your name if you need to. But it's among one of the top things that will get you found. Your podcast name and your artwork. Having artwork that stands out, having a memorable name will really help you. Your name forms the basis of your website address, your email address, your Twitter handle, your Instagram handle, your Facebook page URL. So while you can change these things, getting it right from the start can be really, really helpful. So here's some rules to keep in mind. Number 1, keep it simple. Make it easy to type and easy to remember. Make it easy to say out loud. Avoid words that sound like other words, homonyms. Avoid alternate spellings, girls with a Z or whatever, because you have to explain that every time you want to read out your web address. If you've got a made-up word, that's absolutely fine. The Illusionist is a wonderful podcast, but just bear in mind that people might not spell words in the way that you would expect them, because people's brains work differently. Rule number 2 is try to be descriptive in your name if you possibly can. Can the name of your podcast contain something about what you do, so the listener has an expectation or understands what they can expect? For example, the Daily Tech News Show. It's a tech news show and it's delivered on the daily. Hackable is a show about finding whether different Internet of Things devices can be hacked. Imaginary Worlds. It's a little bit more abstract, but it gives you an idea. And speaking of abstract names, if you've got one, like Upgrade or 99% Invisible, those are absolutely fine, but use your subtitle where you can, because your subtitle will help you. For example, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy podcast, Beware of the Leopard, which is a podcast that I make, it is our subtitle is the A to Z of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is a line that comes from the original radio show. Now, one important aspect, don't give naming rights to your SEO consultant. This is not their job. Don't keyword stuff your title, your podcast title. It's a bit gross, it's thirsty, and it makes you sound shouty and as if you perhaps lack confidence in what you're making. I mean, would people have bought the Abbey Road album if it had been given this name? No. So use your description. That's where you put your keywords. Rule number 3 is format the name right. A simple rule of thumb with this is big words start with a capital letter and that's it. Uppercase is harder for people to read. If everything's in uppercase, it's harder for the eye to distinguish the different letters. It's also, again, a bit shouty. Conversely, lowercase kind of looks like you're not really trying. If you want to express your brand, that's where your artwork and your website can really come in and really shine. Rule number 4 is you probably don't need the word podcast in your podcast title. If we were to take TV shows like Whose Line Is It Anyway, What We Do in the Shadows, or even Comedy Bang Bang, which came from a podcast, they're all TV shows that came from other properties. They don't have the word TV show at the end, so you probably don't need to put that word at the end of your podcast name. So the final thought really now is to get your name everywhere. Find it in as many forms as you can. Use tools that look for your social media handles and your domain names and help you register them. Services like Domainer, iwantmyname.com. These are really helpful tools to hone down your name. Speaking of tools, there's loads of more helpful tools and resources that you can get over at podiant.co/learn, where you can also check out the Podiant podcast hosting service with a free 14-day trial. My name is Mark Steadman. You can find Podiant on Twitter at PodiantHQ, and of course the website again is podiant.co. And if you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful, then click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be delivering a lot more videos in this vein.